Flight delays and cancellations, known as force majeure in aviation language, are inevitable, and this is according to the Director of Consumer Protection Directorate, NCAA. Our guest says proper communication can help manage the problems that arise from this.
All this while, I would say the Civil Aviation Authority has not been up to its responsibility because we have looked the other way. But the thing is really getting out of hand. We tended to blame the airlines in that they didn't carry passengers along. But nowadays, even when they carry passengers along, the problem still seems to persist. And the recent ones involving airpeace are really the ones that come to mind. Because it is a very bad story. 3 aircrafts down. You would expect that, of course, this is something that the airline did not envisage. So there must be flight cancellations and flight delays. Airline officials came out openly to tell passengers this is what happened to our aircraft in Benin. So because of that, this is what has happened to our flight. The passengers felt otherwise and went ahead and maltreated, beat up the officials of the airline. Meanwhile, this is an offense, a very grievous offense in aviation. The provisions contained in the Convention for the Suppression of the Unlawful Seizure of Aircraft signed at The Hague on the 16th day of December 1970 set forth in Schedule 1 to this Act and as amended from time to time. Any person who commits the offense of hijacking shall be liable on conviction to imprisonment for life and also to a fine of not less than 10 million naira. Prohibition of unruly and indecent conduct. Any person who at any aerodrome, that's an airport, unlawfully and intentionally uses any device, substance or weapon to commit an act of violence which causes or is likely to cause grievous hurt of any person or destroys or seriously damage any aircraft or facility at an aerodrome or disrupt any service at that aerodrome commits an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for life also and or to a fine of not less than 10 million naira. We look at flight operations as well as adjudicate on matters that arise out of flight operations. We also have a second leg, which is to do with publicity. So these are things that the passenger should know. You don't just start beating up people, and when you beat up people, does the aircraft leave? No, it doesn't. Formerly, we thought that what is happening is that the airlines don't carry passengers along. But if the airline goes to the extent of opening up and telling the passengers that, look, this is what actually happened to the aircraft, and therefore, because of that, this flight has to be cancelled, and all the same, the passengers feel so aggrieved that they have to beat up the staff of the airline, it doesn't follow. Therefore, it is only proper that airlines must carry passengers along and be open to them and tell them what is actually happening. Gone are the days when you hide the fact that you are doing maintenance checks on your aircraft just because you feel that passengers would expect that because you are doing maintenance checks on your aircraft, it means that the aircraft is not healthy, so therefore they would decide not to travel. In those days, even change of tire has led passengers to opt out of flights. But now passengers understand that that's how aircraft operations are. In fact, the way airports are designed, even from the waiting area, the passenger can peep and see what you are doing to your aircraft. So tell them what you are doing to the aircraft. If it is maintenance, simple maintenance checks, if you are fueling, let them know. And carry them along. That's that. You have done your own bit. And the 2 hours we gave, maximum 2 hours delay, go ahead and give them the refreshment that you are supposed to give. Anything above or beyond 3 hours, give them a hot meal and give them the option of, look, if you don't want to take this flight, if you have already missed your appointment, you don't need it anymore, you are free to schedule your flight, you are free to get a refund of your payment based on the mode of payment initially that you used to pay for your ticket. So once you carry your passengers along and you give them those options, I don't think any passenger has any right whatsoever to do what the passengers are doing now.
I'm sure you have learned one or two things as a passenger. Do not take the laws into your hands.
Here are some tips to master when traveling with luggage. Having only carry-on luggage reduces the risk of having checked luggage lost or stolen. The weight limit for carrying an item is generally about 18.2 kilograms. Even a much lighter bag may cause severe injury if it falls out of the bag. Store your luggage properly. Many bags on the flight may have a similar design, so customize the bag to make it easy to spot on the baggage carousel. This would keep other passengers from picking it up by mistake. It is essential that money, laptop computers, electronic files, and other items of such high value or importance be kept in a carry-on bag, preferably one that is small enough to store under a seat. Every piece of checked luggage should have a 3-letter airport identifier that matches your destination airport. If you're unsure of the code, ask the staff at the check-in counter. This stub is a critical document that will be needed if your luggage is lost by the airline, or if you're trying to prove that you own a piece of luggage. Pack key items in your carry-on bag like extra clothing or a central item for a business meeting, so you can continue your trip if your checked bags are lost or delayed. Above all, know the rules. When you purchase a plane ticket, you and the airline have entered into a contract that covers the flight. Each airline has a specific set of guidelines that are used for situations such as flight delays and bookings, as well as lost or damaged luggage.